just woke up. Actually, I was pretty excited to do this because the channel's growing and I like you guys' comments. So I just did this right as I got up. I take breaks on Saturdays for religious reasons, so I didn't do anything yesterday. But yeah, now it's Sunday. We'll get into this one. So let's dispel the myth that men desire sex more than women in this video. So I think this is one of the more destructive and disastrous myths that we should dispel. I think the reality is that libido varies by individual and also by the age of the individual too. So you can't really define libido by men as a group or women as a group. The fact that you have more men who remain virgins longer than women do just flies in the face of this myth that's perpetuated in our society. Like, I grew up thinking that men were dogs and all this stuff. Not really, but just like in the back of my head. Because obviously I knew I wasn't really a dog. I was an ape. But just that myth that's perpetuated, and I heard that around me a lot too. And then I kind of just went along with it because I was younger. And when you're younger, you just default to the general trends of what people are saying because you don't really have much experience of your own. So I did that with this one, with this myth. But the older I got, the more I was like, are you sure about this? So let me just ask you this. If men desired sex more overall, then how do more of them stay virgins longer? And why would women overall give up their virginity quicker if they desired sex less? Like, just think about that. Just think about that for a second. So personally, I have known several girls and women who had a libido much higher than mine, and it wasn't even really close. And part of that, to be honest, was because they weren't really the women that I would want to. Because I think about things long-term more often, and women think about things, at least at a certain age, more short-term. And not every person, but just from what I've seen. So I was like, okay, long-term, like in 5 years, we're not even going to be in the same city, profession, or anything like that. Not the same family. In terms of like making a family with them. So I was like thinking about the act in that way, but a lot of times it's just purely short term. And then I see these same girls now with somebody, with like another person who I'm like hoping that they also recognize short term versus long term, because see, that's what the thing about history is. Like, to me, I'm like, if I don't know the history, then it's like there has to be a certain period of where I'm like I guess I'll just call it vetting. But I guess that's just like lower libido people then, like where you vet the person. Because maybe not everyone has the same standards on that. And like libido, I guess. So I learned that growing up. Like, not everyone cares about history and stuff like that. So, okay, moving on. This is why the myth always confused the crap out of me. To be honest, even when I was younger and I was going along with just generally what people said, I was still kind of confused. Because I looked around me and I was like, okay, well, this isn't quite the way that we were kind of told. So even back then I was like, is this outdated information, or maybe this is just, I was learning about how not everything is the way it seems or the way it's told to you, and it just kind of confused me. I never really understood it. So maybe it was outdated information. Maybe the decrease in testosterone of this younger generation has changed this phenomenon around from how it used to be. So I'm not really sure on that. Like, I'm still learning more about that. But either way, whatever it is, men have endured being called these names on a societal level for at least as long as I can remember. And even having laws passed against them wholesale because of this myth that's been accepted as fact. And all this Me Too crap. I'm still unsure of a lot of these Me Too's and like who was at necessarily fault for it. Because like Coach Greg Adams says, men don't really litigate women. Like women litigate against men. So, you know, that just and litigate meaning like they sue them or use the law against them, like the courts against them or whatever. So just keep that in mind. So the reality is that sex as an act is actually kind of messy and smelly, to be honest. It feels good, but it's not necessarily the end-all be-all of life in general. At least that's what I thought. And that's what I think. But maybe that's just lower libido people. I have a friend who, I have a friend that's a girl. Like whenever I exhibit any sign of anger, discontentedness, or sadness, or basically any emotion other than happiness, she tells me to go have sex already, quote unquote. That's a exact quote, go have sex already. And I'm like, what does that have to do with this scenario at all? Like printed money, for example. Like, what's having sex gonna do with having the government not print more money? Like, to be honest, if anything, they need to print more money for all of those undesired pregnancies. Like, they say 50% of pregnancies are unwanted. Yeah, that, enough said on that. Like, so what does that have to do with this scenario at all? I'll leave that up to you guys to wonder about. Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you like that content. I might probably drop another video today. This is an early morning one. So yeah, peace out. Channel's growing. Help out the channel. Yeah. That's all I got for now. I'll do my shit and then maybe drop another one later this evening or something. Alright, peace out. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. And yep, that's it. Stay healthy. Extraction.